Okay, so today I'm going to be explaining the color strategy and the sorting by similarity strategies for grade 1 and grade 2. Okay, so I'm going to be using these strategies according to the Van Healy levels that the students might be on or that they want to get to. So for elementary students, the Van Healy consists of levels 0, 1, and 2. And the level that I will be explaining is level 0, which is visualization. And at this level, the student should be able to classify a shape by noticing its appearance. And at level 1, that is analysis. And this is when the student understands that the shapes become barriers of their properties. And okay, so for example, at level 0, student might say a square is squished together when it's a rectangle. And at level 1, the student will know that a square has 4 equal sides, so when they see a rectangle, they will know that it is not a square. And for level 1, they will know that the rectangle does not fit in the same category as a square because the sides aren't equal. And they can see that. Okay, so for grade 1, to get them to a level 0, I will use the color strategy. And what we're going to be doing is classifying and sorting regular and irregular two-dimensional shapes based on attributes using informal geometric language. So what I would do is I would ask them what they maybe think a square looks like. And they would say that it looks like a music box. And then I would ask them what a rectangle looks like. And they might say, a triangle, what a triangle would look like. And they might say it looks like a piece of pizza. So to sort these irregular and regular shapes out into their categories, they would be able to identify that a square looks like a music box. So this picture of this square looks like a music box. So they would put it in the square category. And they can also see that the squares are pink and the triangles are green. So they would just look at the pinks first to identify if they are squares. And 2 also would be a square because it would look like the music box to them. And 3, they might say that, it's too skinny, so they would not put it in the category with the squares. And number 4, they would not put it in the category with the squares because it has a little pointy shape on the end and it does not look like the original square that they put in the box. Also, it would be hard to find any area of that shape as they move along. So, for the triangles, one shape that looks like a pizza would be right here, number 1. They would put that in their category. And number 2, they would not put that in their category because they would say, well, it's not, there's a cutout in there. And number 3, they would categorize it as a triangle because it does have the little pointy end on the top and the long edge at the bottom. And number 4, they would probably say, it's too skinny. And number 5, they might say, well, it's upside down, so those would not go in the category. And they classified, or they categorized them using colors to put in the squares category and the triangles category. Okay, so grade 2, to get to a level 1, I would use the strategy sorting by similarities. And for this, we would classify and sort polygons with 12 or fewer sides according to attributes, including identifying the number of sides and the number of vertices. So first off, I would have to explain to them, what a polygon was, or at least review what a polygon is. And I would say it's a closed shape formed by line segments that do not cross. So first, we would count the sides and vertices of each shape. So for this square, the number of sides we have, so long, flat sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 sides. There's 1 in the front, 1 in the back, and then 4 in the middle for the top, the bottom, and the sides. The vertices are the corners of the shapes, and they would count, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 vertices. And the vertices are what connect the edges and the sides of the shape. So, a 3D squared rectangle shape would have 6 sides and 8 vertices. And for the triangles, we would also count the sides. There would be 1 in the front, 1 in the back, 2 on the sides, and 1 on top. So that would be 5 sides. Let me count to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And the vertices, the pointy ends, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 vertices in that shape. Now, with this little chart, we would sort which shapes are the squares and which shapes are the triangles. And the students at this level would be able to name the shapes that are the squares and the ones that are the triangles. So I asked them, what is this? They would say it's a square. So I would write under there square. And then they would say this is a triangle. And so we would categorize the squares under the squares. And then we would put the triangle under the triangle. And then we would include all these other shapes, triangles and squares, in these categories. And that is how I would sort by similarities, because all the triangles would have 5 sides, 6 vertices, and all the squares would have 6 sides, 8 vertices, and they could count on these other shapes to make sure that it's a square or a triangle. And that is it. Thank you.